अन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमोऽयं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So what to do? Let us recap to what we have discussed in the 15th chapter. In the first chapter, Krishna is talking about, he is comparing this material existence to the Ashwat tree, to that banyan tree. And he says how one can extricate is by cutting the roots of this tree, by the acts of detachment. Because if one does not, so that means while we have come into this material world and we stay into this material world, the only thing of substance is to remain detached from this world, from the objects and the possessions of this world. Otherwise, one will remain in bondage. And whoever stays in bondage, what is the bondage? That he has to transmigrate. He has to move from one body to another body. There is no freedom for him. But a person who is trained in knowledge, he can see this phenomena of transmigration and the suffering. And what he does, he endeavors for freedom. And what is the endeavor for freedom? Is self-realization. That was the 11th verse. Yatanto yoginas chainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam. Yatanto means to make endeavor. So for a sadhaka, this is his constant companion. What is the constant companion of a sadhaka? Is yatantascha. One has to make constant endeavor. But one who is akritatmano, one who is not advanced in self-realization, so for him, what is the solution? That is the next section that we are discussing. So Krishna is very merciful. He is very kind. Every day we recite the prayer, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. He is an ocean of mercy. Not just he is an ocean of mercy, he is Dina Bandhu. He is the brother of the fallen. Dina means who is fallen. And Bandhu means who is the brother. Or he is the deliverer of the fallen. So how he is delivering is through this section that we are discussing. That even Krishna assists everyone in material existence. He is the foundation for everyone to exist even in this material world. So how to see that is through these verses. This is the chakshu Krishna is giving, jnana chakshu. What is the first chakshu he gives? That I am the splendor of the sun, the moon, and the fire. Because in material existence, nothing is possible without the sun, moon, and fire. We discussed that at length. Who remembers what is so significant about sun? Like these days in winter, to get darshan of sun means that one feels very fortunate. One feels enlivened, as if one has been enforced with life. And when there is no sun, it is dark and it is fog. It seems as if the day has not begun. So Krishna is the splendor. He is the heat and light, both of the sun. Without Krishna's intervention or Krishna's energy, the sun is useless. I gave an example, like the body is useless without the soul. And what is soul? Soul is Krishna's energy. Mame Vansho Jivaloke, that we discussed in the 7th chapter. So at the universal level, at the cosmological level, all the planets they are sustaining, they are rotating around the sun. And the sun is the king of all planets. So all the planets, their movement and their existence depends on sun. And Krishna says that the splendor of the sun is because of me. So we can see very well, even if we study cosmology, that all the planets, they rotate around sun. If the rotation goes somewhere wrong, just see, a little bit of distance is there between the sun and the planet. So what we get winters. Now we are feeling the cold. So much cold is there. Why? Because the sun is a little distance. And when there is summertime, that distance becomes little close. And we cannot tolerate the heat. So everything is in perfect harmony. There is an orbit, and in that orbit, the planets are rotating around the sun. So if they go little distance, what will happen? Everyone will be frozen to death. And if they go a little close, every life form will be burned alive. So that perfect arrangement, you have ever heard? There are millions and millions of planets rotating around the sun. One devotee was very nicely explaining, the humans, they are also floating. They are floating some aircrafts. And how much space does the aircraft occupy in the open sky? If you calculate percentage, it will not be even 0.00000001. And oftentimes we see in history, there have been many incidents when two planes have collided. There has been an accident and they have fallen. But never ever for millions and billions of years, the earth is rotating on its axis. And you know what is the speed at which this earth is moving, rotating on the axis? Anyone knows the speed? Kana? You should be knowing. What is the speed at which the earth moves? So many millions of planets, they are rotating, but never ever we have heard that the two planets have collided and there has been such a big explosion or blast. Find out what exactly is the rate of rotation of earth. Manish Prabhu, scientist. It's a phenomenal speed at which the earth rotates.
Prabhuji, 1674.4 kilometers per hour.
1,600?
1674.4 kilometers per hour.
It is like in 1 hour we reach Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri will be roughly that kilometer. So man has not made a machine. Our car, none of the car can go from Delhi to Jagannath Puri in 1 hour. Do we have a car? We don't have a car. But Krishna has created this car and such a huge planet. Just imagine. We don't give, even proper thought to what Krishna is doing. What magic Krishna is managing. So at that speed and this planet Earth, what would be the mass of this planet? Manish, can you estimate? Our intelligence will fail. What will be the total mass of this planet Earth? Unestimatable. And that quantum of mass or weight Krishna is making to move at that 1700 kilometers per hour speed. So what a great wonder. Our heart should be filled with wonder with what Krishna is, how he is maintaining this universe. And this rotation is happening for millions of years. And it never stops. There is no malfunction. It never gets, it does not need any repairing or, renovation, nothing. It's perfect arrangement. So there is one Prabhupada's comment, Srila Prabhupadaji's comment. So I'll share that. Did anyone think about it? What Krishna is saying in the 12th and the 13th verse? Okay. Can someone read? Quickly, Prabhu. Why there is so much of hesitation? Don't want to even read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. What is stated from? 1 second, just a moment. You know this sections, huh? This chapter has 4 sections. First 6 verses detachment. 7 to 11 is transmigration. 12 to 15 is maintenance, and 16 to 20 is Vedanta Sutra, the summary. Yeah, read this.
Yes, Prabhuji. You can manufacture a toy Sputnik to fly in the sky, to float in the sky by so many mechanical arrangements. As soon as the machine is gone out, immediately falls down. But just see what machine is there. Millions and trillions of aeroplanes, big planet with big mountains, oceans. They are floating. So that is his intelligence. Your intelligence may be that you can also float in a big aeroplane. But what is that big aeroplane in comparison to this big planet? It is nothing. There is also petrol stock, and in the aeroplane there is also petrol stock. Perhaps it is floating by petrol, but you are taking out all the petrols. One day it will fall down. Yes, you are disturbing God's arrangement.
So Prabhupada is saying the scientists are very proud of their satellites or their airplanes which they are flying. But what is the comparison of the planets being floated? Yes, compared to these machines that they are flying, it is just like a small toy. So see what Krishna is made arrangement, and there is no petrol required for these planets to rotate. Okay. Good.
But it is floating by the supreme power. Otherwise, by calculation, how such a big planet can float just like a cotton swab? Yes, it is floating. Not only one, millions. So, that is explained in the Bhagavad Gītā. Gam avishya ojasa dharayami. Dharyami. Bhagavad Gītā 15.3. He enters.
Good.
He enters in each and every planet, in each and every universe, each and every atom. Andatara stha paramanu chayantara stham. Yes. 5.35.
The Brahma Samhita.
Brahma Samhita 5.35. And Prabhuji, can you go down?
And maintaining them. So two important aspects in the 13th verse, Krishna is saying that he is saying that Dharyami aham ojasa. Dharyami means to hold or to sustain. So that force of sustenance is because of Krishna. You see in this planet that anything you throw up, what happens? It comes down. So what force is there in this planet that we call as the force of gravity? Dharan Shakti, or we call it Grutva Karshan Shakti. You know that? The law of gravity is. So where is that law of gravity coming from? This is because Krishna is Dharayami, Dharan Shakti. Anyone knows what is the personification of Dharan Shakti? There are various Shaktis: Palan Shakti, Bhakti Shakti, Jnana Shakti. There is also Dharan Shakti. Who is invested with the yes? Yes, Manish Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I think it's Lord Shankarchan.
Yes, Anantashesh, in the form of Anantashesh. He does the dharana. So he is what? Anantashesh is what? He is an expansion of the expansion. And second aspect, he says, Pushnami. So if Krishna is not sustaining, then nothing. Just imagine what will happen if there is no force of gravitation. That is why it says, Gam avishya cha bhutani dharyami aham ojasa. Two aspects of it. At first, that the planets stay in orbit. They don't go, in any other direction. How is it that the planets never get distracted or they never leave their track? Because Krishna is holding them. Dharyami. Such a perfect arrangement. That is why never ever there has been any deviation. There is no question of any deviation or distraction or distortion. Why? Because Krishna's energy is working. Dharyami aham ojasa, by my energy. So that is how the planets are in perfect arrangement, in perfect movement. And within the planets he enters. I enter in each planet. Which Vishnu is this who enters into each planet? Yes?
Prabhuji, Garbhodakshai Vishnu.
Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And what he does? Pushnami. He nourishes them. Nourishment also. Whatever we need to exist, to be nourished, to subsist or to eat, is all provided by Krishna. How? Chaushadhi. Aushadhi. He provides the Aushadhi. Aushadhi means all the vegetables, all whatever is required for us to maintain our body, to exist. So how we can see how Krishna is assisting us at all levels. At the universal level, global level, cosmological level, that all the planets, they are rotating around the sun, and the energy of the sun is coming through Krishna. And he enters into each planet and he ensures that in each planet there is life force. And to sustain, to nourish each life force, he provides Aushadhi. And he provides the energy, the supply of juice. So we can see at all levels, our existence is completely dependent upon Krishna. So without Krishna maintaining and sustaining, we cannot exist even for a moment. And further in the 14th verse, so he does not leave us at that level. At the cosmological level or at the terrestrial level, he even helps us, assists us at the individual level. How? 14th verse, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachami Annam Chaturvidha. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. So Krishna says that I am the fire. I am the fire of digestion. So we saw that everything which is being produced, or that is being cultivated, how it is becoming possible? Because of Krishna, Krishna's energy providing radiance to the sun and the moon. That is allowing any crop or vegetation to happen, to grow. So what we have to do? It is because of Krishna's energy that we get foodstuffs. And even that foodstuff we cannot accept. Can we take the food from the farm and eat? No, we have to cook it. Without cooking, without fire, we cannot eat it. Isn't it? So that fire, the energy of the fire, that potency of fire is Krishna. And even if we eat it, which has already been cooked in the external fire, still what we need the fire within the digestion. You see, no? If the fire of digestion, it goes down. If you eat something, what is the situation? What happens if the fire of digestion goes down?
Indigestion.
Yeah, indigestion. Indigestion is there. What is indigestion? That the fire which is inside the belly, it has gone down. So Krishna is saying, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita. So within the body of every living entity, Deham Ashrita, I am that fire which is called Vaishvanara, which digests everything. So before anything can be produced, we require Krishna's energy in the form of sun, moon, and fire, so that anything can be produced. And because of Krishna's energy, this cultivation is done. And we get the crops, we get the vegetation, we get the plants, and we get so many produce. And that produce, before we can eat, we require fire. We require it to be cooked. So that fire also is provided by Krishna. And even after the preparation happens, if we even eat it, or whatever we have eaten, it needs to be digested. For that digestion also we are dependent on Krishna. So see at how much we are dependent on Krishna. And still our mind is such a big rascal that he says that no, I don't need to depend on Krishna. How ungrateful it is. So Krishna, not only he provides fire, so that whatever we have eaten can be digested. Not only to that extent, he says, Prana Apana Samayukta. So what is this Prana and Apana? So these are various airs. The upward and downward movement of the air. There are how many types of air floating within the body? We have read that in previous chapters. In the 6th chapter, we read that. Yes, Ganesh?
Prabhuji, total 10 different type of airs. I don't name Prabhuji, but number.
Prabhupada, one purport is saying 10, but normally it is 5, which I know. But in one purport, Prabhupada says 10. What are the 5 types of air? Who remembers? Prana and Apana is mentioned here. Even Saman is there. 3. Prana, Apana, Saman. Anyway, let's leave it. That's not important. More important is, Krishna is saying that not only he digests whatever is taken in, and he also provides the balance of the upward and the downward movement. Why? Because Pachami Annam Chaturvida, so that the digestion can happen. So see how complex is the digestion within our belly. So not just the fire is required to digest whatever we have eaten. That is why we should not drink water while we are accepting any foodstuffs. Because what the water does, if you are igniting fire and you are pouring water, what will happen to the fire? Will it inflame? It will be terminated. That is why in Ayurveda it is said that if you have to drink water, you drink it before meals, at least half an hour before meal or 1 hour after the meal, so that digestion can be proper. But here what Krishna is saying, that he balances, not only he provides the fire within the belly so that the food can be digested, he also makes the equilibrium of the air which is upward, which is prana and samana. Prana and apana. So that it becomes samana, so that pachami annam chaturvidha. So 4 types of foodstuffs are there. We will try and discuss that. so that those 4 types of foodstuffs can be digested. So see how much Krishna is working for us, or how much we are making Krishna work for us at all levels. He is even active inside our belly, so that whatever we have eaten or whatever we have taken in can be digested. Without his aid, without his assistance, without his kind help, we cannot digest even. So I am the fire of digestion of the bodies in all living entities. All living entities. One of Krishna's intimate associate, one of the Pandavas, Bhimasen. What is his digestive power? What kind of fire he has in his belly? Anyone knows? He's mentioned in first chapter of Bhagavad Gītā. What kind of fire he has? In his udara? Yes? Yes, Dhanamani Prabhu? Yes, speak. Dhanamani? Brika. I remember one devotee, he was senior to me. He had gone for his brahmachari training in Vrindavan many years back, my very initial days. And I had gone to meet him, and I was asking him, that Prabhuji, how are you? How austere it is to be in. So he was telling me, "Aur to sab theek hai, Prabhu, but in my stomach I have vrika. And as soon as I take in something, it is immediately digested and it is, removed from the body. And my hunger is again back." And in Vrindavan, evening prasad is at 3. At 3 o'clock. And after 3, they get to eat next day at 9 in the morning. So how many hours? And he says, this is my greatest austerity. And he was telling me, my brika is so strong that even if you put stones, it will digest. And he said, there is nothing to it. Entire night I have to remain, empty stomach, hungry. So just imagine the fire which is inside. Little bit of fire increases, what will happen? One will be burned from inside. Swaha. That kunda which is inside, it will engulf the entire existence of the living entity. He will be burned alive. Have you ever heard that the fire inside inflamed a little more, that the person was burned from inside? Have you ever heard? Bolo, yaar, kuch participate karo. Just try to see the marvel of Krishna. To what extent he is present and to what extent he is in control. Why? Because he is the controlling factor. Prana samayukta. He is controlling. It is neither less nor more at any moment. Because if it becomes more, everything inside will be burned. The person will be burned. And he says, Pachami annam chaturvida. Hare Krishna. Yes, bro. So even if we have eaten, that is not sufficient. After eating, we require Krishna's mercy in the form of digestion. He says, Pachami annam chaturvida. It is because of Krishna's force, Krishna's energy, Krishna's balance, Krishna providing that fire within the belly, that the foodstuffs are digested. Otherwise, there is no digestion. So what is there for Krishna to kill anyone? What he will do? He will just withdraw the fire in the belly. Finish. First, he will not have any appetite. Second, if he even eats, he will not be able to digest. What will be his situation? I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming. It is prana and apana. Prana is the outgoing air, and apana is the downgoing air. And samayukta means keeping the balance between outgoing and downgoing to digest the four kinds of foodstuffs. So Krishna has to make exact, optimum balance of the flow of the air so that digestion can happen. See, everything is dependent. How do we evacuate? That is that air. I think it is Udan. It is through the Udan air that the refuse from the body is flushed out. So without the right movement of the air, nothing we can do. And that Krishna is saying that I maintain the balance. I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. So if Krishna would not join, we cannot digest anything. Okay, let us see the purport. So according to Ayurvedic Shastra, we understand that there is a fire in the stomach which digests all food sent there. When the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger. And when fire is in order, we become hungry. One devotee was very nicely explaining. I was hearing that normally what do you see with the fire? If you add something in the fire becomes ablaze, isn't it? It becomes more prominent. But you see the fire within the belly. If you don't eat, the fire goes on. You feel hunger. Sometimes when the fire is not going nicely, treatment is required. In any case, this fire is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic mantras, Bharat, Aranya, Upanishad 5, 9, 11 also confirms that the Supreme Lord of Brahman is situated in the form of fire within the stomach. So we become conscious of what we are eating. So what is coming to us as prasad is what? Is Krishna. You see, even if you don't see from the prasad perspective, even non-devotees, they cannot deny that whatever is coming is actually prasad only. Because any foodstuff, any fruit grain is coming, it is only because of Krishna's mercy. As the sun, moon, and little fire, that they can have anything to eat, and that whatever they eat also is dependent upon Krishna to be digested. So the Supreme Lord of Brahman is situated in the form of fire within the stomach and digesting all kinds of foodstuff. I am Agnir Vaishvanaro, yo I am Anta Purushe, yenedam annam pachyate. Therefore, since he is helping the digestion of all kinds of foodstuff, the living entity is not independent in the eating process. Unless the Supreme Lord helps him in digesting, there is no possibility of eating. He thus produces and digests foodstuffs, and by his grace we are enjoying life. So at all levels, we are completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. If somebody says no, he is completely mad. He is insane. So, just by eating and remembering how Krishna is providing us the foodstuffs and how Krishna is digesting these foodstuffs, we can become Krishna conscious. I remember many years back, maybe even more than 10 years back, I heard this verse being spoken by one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Mataji. Devi Shakti Mataji in Vrindavan. 15th chapter she was speaking. And she was saying that just by becoming prasad conscious, and how Krishna is providing us and how Krishna is digesting what we eat, one can return home back to Godhead. So without his help, we cannot even digest what we have eaten. Unless the Supreme Lord helps him in digestion, there is no possibility of eating. Thus, he produces and digests foodstuff, and by his grace, we are enjoying life. This is also confirmed. Sabdadibhyo antaha pratishtha anacha. The Lord is situated within the sound and within the body, within the air, and even within the stomach as the digestive force. There are 4 kinds of foodstuffs. What are the 4 kinds Prabhupada is mentioning? Some are drunk. So what is drunk? It is called peya. Peya. Some are chewed. Some are licked, chosya, and some are sucked. And he is the digestive force for all of them. So what every day we sing in Guru Ashtakam? What do we sing? Chatur Vidha Shri Bhagavad Prasadaha Swadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha. So Chatur Vidha Shri Bhagavad Prasadaha. It is not Bhagavad Prasado. It is wrong. 99.9% they pronounce and sing wrong. It is Prasadaha. And what kind? Chatur Vidha Shri. So the spiritual master is very expert. What is the expert in? Preparing 4 types of offering for the Supreme Lord. Chatur Vidha Shri Bhagavad Prasadaha. So he prepares this 4 kind of foodstuffs and he offers to the Supreme Lord. And when this foodstuff is offered to the Lord, what the spiritual master does, he distributes amongst his disciples. Swadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha. And his relishment, swad, and tripti, his satisfaction, is many times increased. Why? Because that is being accepted Hari Bhakta Sangha. So if you really want to get the nectar of prasad, it has to be in Hari Bhakta Sangha. Don't try to make a full plate for yourself. Be in your room and try to enjoy it. It is not prasad. It will neither be swad nor tripta. The spiritual master is very pleased when he sees that prasad is being distributed and his disciples are accepting it. Kritveva triptim bhajata sadeva. So he is very satisfied. Kritveva triptim bhajata sadeva vande gurum shri charana. So at all levels we see that how much the jiva is dependent. Whether one is liberated or one is conditioned. At every level, at every step, we require Krishna's help, Krishna's mercy to maintain our body even. So Krishna is there at every level, at the universal level, at the terrestrial level, at the individual level, also at the spiritual level. Of course, he is there at the spiritual level. 15th verse. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritirgyanam apohanam cha vedescha sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videva chaham. So he is not just there in the stomach as Vaishnavanaro Agni. What is Krishna revealing? He is saying that Hridaya Sannivishtos, that I am seated in the heart of everyone. Sarvasya Chaham Hridaya Sannivishtos. I am seated inside the heart also. And from me, who is seated within the heart of every living entity, Matta, from me, Smriti. Smriti means remembrance. Because Krishna is seated inside the heart, the jiva gets the remembrance. He also receives Gyan. He receives the knowledge. Where is this knowledge coming? From the heart. And within the core of the heart, there is Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is inspiring, and he becomes the recipient of this knowledge. But those who do not want to serve and those who want to face away from Krishna, Krishna does not stop them. He gives them apohanam. Apohanam is forgetfulness. So that they are convinced that there is nothing like God. And further he says, Vedeshcha sarve. So in every section of Veda, he is glorified. And he is the one who is to be known through the Veda. Ahameva Vedyo. What is the purpose of the Vedas? Is to know him. And he says, Vedanta Krit, I am the one who is the compiler of the Vedas in the form of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And Ved Videva Chaham. Ved means the scriptures. And what is to be known? Vidit from the Ved is me. Ved Videva Chaham. Cha Aham. That's why I am the compiler of the Vedas, and the purpose and the knower of the Vedas is also me. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, Vedanta Krit, and Ved Videva Chaham. I am the knower of the Vedas. So what is the purpose of the Vedas? The purpose of the Vedas is to know Krishna, is to reach towards Krishna, to make Krishna the goal of our life, the mission of our life. Okay. The big purport. Almost 1.5 page. Very important verse. Very, very important verse. So Krishna reciprocates according to our desires. If we want to know him, if we want to reach him, so Krishna gives Smriti and Jnana. Krishna provides the remembrance and the knowledge. Both. He makes arrangement in our life so that we can reach him. And if one wants to forget Krishna, he wants to enjoy this material world, so Krishna reciprocates accordingly so that he can forget about Krishna and try to enjoy this material existence. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. And it is from him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life. That day, who was asking? I think Swanika, you were asking this question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is answered. Do you have any question from anywhere? I can assure you. I have seen in my life experience. Every day I get the experience. Everything is answered specifically in Bhagavad Gītā. Here it is. The living entity forgets everything of his past life. Why? Because this is the conditioning of the modes. That they will also be discussed. And he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his works. Therefore, he begins his works according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is supplied to him and remembrance is given to him, and he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all pervading, he is all pervading in the form of sun, moon, and fire. But he is also localized. He is localized in every individual's heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. So this is the purpose of Krishna presenting Vedas as Vyasadeva. Is that everyone, he can mold his life in such a way so that he can return home back to Godhead. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And Krishna in his incarnation as Vyasadeva is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. So the Vedanta Sutra is the conclusion. Veda Antaha. Antaha means the final summation or the summarization or the conclusion. Vedanta. Anta means where it is the last point or the summit point. So Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and Krishna in his incarnation as Vyasadeva is the compiler of Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of foodstuffs. He is so full and he is so merciful. Not only the Lord is not just Purna, but he is full of Kripa. That he is the supplier and also the digester of foodstuff, the witness of his activity, and the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna, the teacher of Bhagavad Gītā, he is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good, God is all merciful. Anta pravishta shashta jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body. But he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. So not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world, according to the dictations of the Supreme Lord situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from him. But there is a condition. What is it? If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence, not to anyone and everyone. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because the living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literatures confirm this. Yo aso sarver veder giyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated. By performance of Vedic rituals, discussions on the Vedic philosophy, and worship of the Lord in devotional service, he is attained. So how he is attained? By performance of Vedic rituals, discussions of Vedic philosophy, worship of the Lord, and devotional service. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing him. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra 114 confirms this in the following words. Tattu Samanvayat. One can attain perfection in 3 stages. By understanding Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is this? Sambandha Gyan. By performing the different processes, one can approach him at the end and can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are clearly given. Okay. So I will stop here because the last section I will try to discuss tomorrow. Krishna will speak about the Vedanta Sutra, the conclusion of what he has presented in this last 5 verses. Okay. So please try to deliberate as to how much we are completely dependent on Krishna in our material existence. Anyone and everyone. And how Krishna's hand is there helping us at every stage. Without Krishna's hand, without Krishna's help, we cannot exist even for a moment. Hare Krishna. बोलिए क्या इंस्पिरेशन मिला? एनी इंस्पिरेशन मिला? सुन के क्या लगा? What is our feeling? बोलिए डोलामणि.
We know this, but why we do not appreciate? Is it because of that we want to forget that just now we heard that if we want to forget, then God gives intelligence to forget Him. So we don't appreciate whatever Lord is giving to us. So it is that because we want to forget Lord.
Your voice is breaking, so I was not very properly able to hear what you said. What I could understand is the Lord is giving us forgetfulness. Yes, to those who want to forget, Krishna gives them forgetfulness. But those who want to come close to Him, so what He gives? He gives 2 things. He gives smriti. He gives the remembrance of the Lord. And He also gives the jnana, the knowledge, so that we can reach Him, we can approach Him. So it is our choice. It is solely our choice. Krishna does not intervene or interferes. So one who is enlivened, one who is enlightened, he would like to approach Krishna, reach Krishna, and Krishna will give all facilities. But if someone wants to turn away from Krishna, then Krishna even gives him the opportunity. So where are we placed? We are in midway. How? That we want to enjoy this material world also, and we want to become Krishna's devotee also. The first thing Krishna is explaining here in this chapter is detachment. That means the knowledge is still not penetrating. The material conception that we are having, that is still guiding us. That is still our inspiration. So how to be able to overcome it? Continue the process with more commitment. Pray to Krishna. Beg Krishna. The best prayer that we can ask Krishna is Shakti Buddhi Hina Ami Ati Dina. that neither do I have any strength, nor do I have any intelligence. I am completely enamored by your illusionary energy. This is what the acharyas are praying. But what we are thinking, we are not thinking in that humble mood. We are not praying to the deities or the Supreme Lord calling for his help. Maya Mugdha Jivera Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling that Maya Mugdha Jivera Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan. Those who are captivated by the illusionary energy, for them there is no possibility to cultivate or develop this knowledge. Jivere Kripa Kaila Krishna Veda Purana. So to bestow opportunity and blessing upon them, Krishna has presented this Gyan. Which Gyan? Veda Puran. So we have to hear, study, we have to deliberate. We have to pray, really pray. We have to tell Krishna that I am really serious. This is what Prabhupada was saying in the purport, that if one is serious. Can we say we are very serious? If one is serious, then we can see how Krishna will make us advance. So he will give us the jnana. He is giving us the jnana. He is giving us this opportunity. He has given us this association. He is giving us this very exemplary teachings of Srila Prabhupada. So with more commitment, if you follow the process, it will work. Are you hearing, Gulamani?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
We should feel gratitude. We should thank him. You will see more reciprocation coming from his side. Whatever we are asking, whatever we are desiring, and it gets fulfilled, do we really go and thank him from the heart? Thank you, Krishna. It is because of you it happened. We are busy, absorbed in enjoying. Now, how will he reciprocate with us? That is what the Acharyas say. That is why I have told so many of you, some of you, not all of you, that every day at least one bhajan we should sing in the kutir of our heart. We should cry out, call out to Krishna. We really are serious to make advancement. We should at least spend 5 to 10 minutes try to reveal what rubbish is there inside. If we pray and if we beg Krishna, so that influence of illusionary energy can be removed, the veil can be removed, and we can see clarity. You see, through Bhagavad Gītā, we can have such clarity. How much we are dependent on Krishna. If he does not maintain, he does not sustain, we cannot survive even for one moment. So when we get prasad, do we treat prasad as prasad? Is Krishna's mercy? Say, what is our approach? What kind of approach we have done? It's just a formality. Mahaprasad Govinda, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and busy enjoying. Even we forget this is prasad. Consciousness is still not getting connected. Consciousness is still not getting connected. So what we have to do? We have to change. We have to change. Very particular. While preparing, while offering, while honoring, while giving it to others. So this is Krishna coming in the form of his prasad. As we become conscious, Krishna consciousness. As we become awakened, as we become alert, as we become aware, you see the process will start working. It is working. It is not that it is not working. But still, again and again, our default setting, our conditioning is very heavy. Again and again, it gets covered. You see the prayer of Mahaprasade Govinde. If you meditate on the prayer, so much advancement can come. Who knows the prayer? Who knows the meaning of the prayer of Mahaprasade Govinde? Who can give the purport? Kiran, are you hearing?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji.
What is Mahaprasade Govinde? Meaning and meditation of that prayer of Mahaprasade Govinde. Okay, you are outside. Never mind. You mute.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, Lavani Prabhu, you are a sincere practitioner for so many years. Do we ever meditate on the meaning and the mood of Mahaprasade Govinde? Very powerful prayer. Nam Brahmane Vaishnave. Swa Alpa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwas Neva Vajayate. This is our condition. That Krishna is appearing in the form of Mahaprasad, Govinda, in his names, Nama. People say Namo Brahmane. It is Nama Brahmane. Every process that we are picking up, it is imbued with some fault. It is Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmane Vaishnave. The Krishna is manifesting in the form of Prasade, Govinda in the form of deities, in his holy names, and in the form of Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. But because we have very little piety, Swa Alpa, Vishwas Nevo Vajayate, we do not have faith in these four things. Neither do we have faith in Mahaprasad, nor Govind, nor that his names, nor the Vaishnavas. So what to do? Sharira Vidyada. This body is the network of illusion. And in that, Jadendriya Tahekal, our senses who are venomous like snakes, always wanting sense gratification. Never ever they get satisfied, or never ever they want to stop. Jadendriya Tahekal. And they are pushing us. The desires and the demands of the senses are pushing us. Where to lead? Towards our call. Pushing us in the mouth of death. And amongst all the senses, Jive Fele Vishay Sagare. The most venomous, the most sinful, or the most poisonous one is Jiva. Tar madhe jivati lobho moy sudur mati. Very grave, very heavy. Jiva ati lobho moy. There is always greedy. Jiva is always greedy. What? To taste, to eat, to enjoy. And take deta kathin sansare. And there is so much of struggle in this material world. But Krishna has very mercifully appeared in the form of prasad. Swaprasad Anna Dilo Bhai. But Krishna has appeared in his most merciful incarnation as Prasad. And how is he appearing? Even in the Anna. Swaprasad Anna Dilo Bhai. Say Anna Amrit Pao. Because he has appeared in the Anna, he is providing us Prasad. That Anna has become Amrita. Say Anna Amrit Pao, Radha Krishna Gungao. Prema Dakho Shri Chaitanya. So if we really properly, in proper mood, we recite the prayers of Mahaprasadam and we accept and honor it, so much advancement will be there. But we do not give importance to the process. We do not give importance to the prayers. So we remain at the level of Prakriti Sthane Karshati. Struggle is there. Struggle continues. So to recap, it is reaching 9. What we have today, we have to really pray. Amar Jivan Sada Paperat Nahi ko Punye Rolesh. And my life, entire life, I have been after sense gratification. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is singing. Nahi ko Punye Rolesh. That we are saying, oh, I have become completely saintly. There is no sin in my life, and I have reformed, I have transformed, I have become very pure. I can purify others. Mistaken. As we advance, we will become more humble. And we'll really pray and beg. What is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Prabhupada says, this is begging Krishna, crying for Krishna. We don't do that. Do we do that? Never. I don't do that. So we should take the process in its right turn. As hear, write, contemplate, and remember. Every time we get prasad, we should feel gratitude. It is how much Krishna is caring for us, how much Krishna is working for us. We are thinking we are working day and night. You see how much Krishna is working day and night. In the day, he is appearing as sun, and in the night, he is appearing as moon. And when the produce is there, he is appearing as fire to cook. And when we have eaten it, he also still appears as fire in the belly to digest. And he is balancing both airs within the inside so that every functions can be normal. How much? At all level, he is supporting us. He is assisting us. He is helping us. How much we should be feeling of gratitude in our heart. To the extent we have gratitude, to that extent we can elevate in Krishna consciousness. So many times I have heard, I cannot say that I am doing it. I am still struggling. What should be the attitude? Of gratitude, of servitude. What is gratitude? To become servant, servitude. As we are coming close to our constitutional position, this life will become such simple and so easy, without resistance. Then there is no resistance. It's easy, smooth. Smooth remembrance of Krishna. And no distraction, distortion. Okay, I'll stop here. So that is what Prabhupada was writing. If you see, what purport it says. These are some thoughts. So I was provoking those thoughts. You see in the 12th purport, the last 2 lines, Prabhupada says, These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul. Why? Because in the conditioned soul, to provoke Krishna consciousness is not easy. Again, he gets covered. So meditate at all levels how much Krishna is helping us, how much Krishna is serving us. Without his help, there's no survival, not even for a moment. Okay, I'll have to stop here. Hare Krishna. If you want to do festival on 15th, Yagnesh was asking, Dolamani and Ganesh Prabhu, you all decide. I won't be able to come on 15th. 14th and 15th, I have engagement. There is some program here in the temple. 14th is my initiation day. And 15th, Balbat Prabhu has asked me for one, program. So I cannot say no to him. So if you want to do it, please do it as a service. Then you all cohesively unite, have a plan and properly execute it. Okay. And this is the last week for Bhagavad Gītā Marathon. So those who have distributed, so please try to collect and complete. Kiran, finally your Srimad Bhagavatam has been dispatched. Yesterday it went. I hope it will reach you in 1 week's time.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
From my side, I have sent these to whoever desired. If anyone wants more, then please let me know. I'll try and deliver. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gītā Yatharūpa ki jai. Pranav, I'll speak to you. Prabhu, I'll just call you after the class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.